Good morning. It's my pleasure to call to order the Veterans Memorial Island Sanctuary Advisory Committee on today, November the 4th, 2015. As you can see, our chairman is not with us this morning. He's out of town. So we will try to carry on and hope that we have an audience out there who is interested in the activities of this committee. So we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. If everybody will stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next item on our agenda would be the approval of the minutes of October the 7th. Does anyone have any additions or corrections?
I move they be accepted.
Is there a motion? Need a second?
Second.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the same. Thank you so much. The audience participation, I always announce that if there's anyone in the audience who's not already on the agenda, this is their chance. So, seeing none, we'll move to new business. The first item was the Indian River Charitable Association. Mr. Bob Anderson, who is the president, was planning to be here, and he may not realize that we actually do start at 10 o'clock. So if he arrives, we will certainly put him on the agenda real fast, put him at the podium. The next thing is the status of our historic heritage marker. Mr. Dexter?
Good morning. Don Dexter, Public Works Department.
Yes.
And I just exchanged emails with the gentleman from the state who repairs those this morning. That's why I was a minute late. But he's going to try and get it here for us by next Wednesday. But the fellow who actually does the welding for the repairs has been out of town for a couple weeks. So he's hoping if he can get it this weekend, he thinks he can get it delivered here Tuesday or Wednesday. But he will call me or email me on Monday to let me know. So fingers crossed, everything will work out. If not, it'll be here later in the week. So,
If not, we'll just handle it when it gets here.
yeah, exactly.
We'll certainly have worked to try to get it here for next Wednesday.
Yes.
Okay. Don, do you have any other things?
No, not under new business. I have one under old business, so if you want to stay on the agenda, you have your annual report to review. So,
yeah. Then let me take a couple of minutes and go to the annual report, okay? I think you all have a copy of the annual report, which has been prepared for, as you see, it is a draft. The original that was sent to you by email, there were some places where it was suggested by both the chairman and others that things were incorrect, and that I think you all have a copy. If you just quickly turn to page 2, this new one, of course, says that there are 5 full members and 1 alternate on the committee at this time. In the paragraph that starts activities on Veterans Memorial Island Sanctuary this year, it also includes the POWMIA ceremony. On page 3, the second paragraph, the last sentence, the restoration work was paid for by donations made by the Veterans Memorial Island account and a special contribution from the Veterans Council of Indian River County. The renovation was completed in October. That was an addition. Okay, now that's all was suggestions that I have. How about anybody else? Did anybody else find something that needs to be corrected or added to it? If not, we still have time because it's not due until December, as the date said, December, question mark. So if you think of anything else, please call Rita and let her see if she can't
Yeah, you can either
change it
email me
over.
or call me, and
Now.
we can make the changes, and we'll show it again as a final at the December meeting. If there's any more changes, we can still make them.
Okay, fine.
Before we submit
The
it
other
to the
thing is,
council.
take a look. The one she gave us today has a different picture. The one she gave us originally had the,
No, that's the new one. The original one has the,
Is the marine on it?
yeah. Wait a minute.
but I didn't give that picture to everybody, so I just wanted to let you show it to them and ask them if it's something they would rather have.
In other words, would they rather have this? That's what I was
Okay.
going to say. Would you rather have this on the front of the report?
I guess
Or-
that is on the island, although the cover of the young Marine there is Heath Harris, and I've known him since he was 5 years old. He's a black belt in my karate school, and when he was a young guy, he was like a puppy. His feet were too big and couldn't hardly do anything, and now he's a 6'2" Marine, and recently promoted to corporal and moving along quite fast, and is one of there's only 157 parachute riggers in the Marine Corps, and he's one of them. So I'm real proud of him, but the I guess the other is the monument that really kind of started the island going. And maybe that's more appropriate for the island. Although again, I'm real proud of Heath Harris and his Corporal Harris and his progress in the Marine Corps.
Well,
Yeah,
gentlemen, what do you think?
I don't know. Well, Barb?
I agree. That's very nice, but the monument is permanent. And it is what we are all about.
Yeah, okay.
I agree also with Barbara. Mhm.
Did you?
Yeah,
Okay.
I agree. I mean, it's a great picture of this young fellow.
Yeah,
It is.
It is.
You know what? We need to see him again and put that picture again somewhere else.
I was just going to say, I think we'll make a special effort to use this picture somewhere else. He's a good Marine, isn't he?
And city resident, yeah, he's a great young man. I guess we could use more like him.
Well, if it's agreeable to you all, we'll switch, Rita,
Okay.
on the next draft,
Okay.
which should be the final copy. But any of you, if you think of anything else that you think should be in the report,
Is this his first and only time with the wreath, or has he done this several times, it seems to me? He's
This
done
young
it more
fellow?
than once.
He's helped a couple of times at least. A few times.
Then we definitely should make sure this picture gets somewhere in our archives.
Why couldn't we do the monument on the cover and this young man on the inside cover?
Yeah,
Or on the inside first page?
just add it to it.
Yeah.
I mean, unfortunately, a lot of people wouldn't see his picture on the inside cover of it or the inside page of it, but
that would be a good place.
credit is due there. I think
Or sometimes, how you see in advertising or whatever, where
Sure.
maybe two pictures, one can kind of overlap a little
There you
bit. Maybe have both on the cover.
I
The monument really.
Either that or close with it.
But, I think that the monument really does tell the story and what created this great island that we have here. So, but then also, those out there honoring our veterans and the little flags in the community hidden or sort of not hidden, but in the background there. It is a nice photo, isn't it? So
It is.
absolutely.
Well, we could maybe we'll just get our illustrious chairman to give you a little bit of information.
So I can include them both on the front if you want me to. I can scale it down and move the
Scale it
margins
down.
out a little bit and
Scale it down,
them
put
both
Put it
in
in
there.
Both
step.
of them on the front.
Step it or something like that.
Yeah.
That's all. It doesn't have to be this size.
No.
Okay.
and I think not only again
Yeah,
how much I think of Heath, but I think it would make a nice cover that way with both on there. So.
It would. It would. Okay. Well, why don't we do that? Let's use
Yeah.
both. Let's use both.
I'm for that.
All right, Rita, if you will convey that to.
I will do that. And I'll send it out to you guys to see in advance.
Okay. Wonderful. All right. under old business, now, the completion of the Lest We Forget Monument restoration. Mr. Dexter.
Good morning again. And yes, it is complete. And I think the granite that was used for the cross is a very close match to that original granite. I think it really turned out well. I did speak with Mark Feldner, and I noticed this too when I went out there to take a look at it. There are some folks who are providing seeds to the squirrels or birds out there, and they're putting them on the granite. And he said, you know, the seeds all have a little bit of oil in them, and it could stain the material. So if anyone is listening who happens to like to feed the wildlife out there, just don't set it on the granite. We don't want to take a chance on staining anything. So otherwise, it turned out really nice.
Cross before the meeting started. It looks like it had been there all along.
It does. Yeah, it really matched in nicely.
They did a great job.
Mm-hmm.
Don, how did they do the final mounting of it? Did they put it by a pin?
There's a pin and some epoxy.
Epoxy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just want to make sure if we have another hurricane, it doesn't end up on the ground or end up broken.
Well, no guarantees, but less likely.
Well, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's wonderful. And it looks perfect.
Absolutely.
It is, I'm sure it's perfect, but, all righty.
Don, can I ask one more question, Don? What was the final bill of that?
It was exactly as we had quoted, and off the top of my head, I don't remember, but it was like $32.95 or $34.95.
He kept it pretty close to what
it was the exact same price that he
Exactly
quoted
what it
originally. So,
Okay, thanks.
We had authorized up to 5,000?
Yes.
Yeah. So you're okay?
yes, we were fine.
Okay. The next item is, of course, the recap on the Daughters of the American Revolution Day Service Project. Since our chairman is not here, Don, could you give any kind of report? I know it occurred, and I know that the ladies were out there, and they were out there early because Tony went out to see them and talk to them, and they were most anxious to do the job that they had been asked to do. So we appreciate it. I was kind of hoping we could give them just a little more credit, which would really be nice.
Couldn't we do a letter that would state something
Sure.
similar to that? I mean, it's
Oh,
nice to, I haven't been out there to see what they've done, but I mean, if somebody wants to volunteer in the community to do something like that, I think the least we could do is send them a letter saying, hey,
A thank you letter.
absolutely.
I think that
Weren't
is-
there pictures in the paper also, like luminaries or your news?
Was there?
I thought
There was a
because
picture of something, yes.
There
Yeah,
was a
because
pic- there-
you weren't there,
was,
were you?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But Tony was, because I think he was in uniform or partial.
Oh, I missed that.
There's been a couple of things that either you or both you and Tony, I have seen pictures recently in the weeklies.
I think I was in Belgium. I wasn't out there, but what was it they did again? I'm sorry. Can you? They did landscape, or
Nope.
what was it they did when they went out there?
They went out to clean.
Oh,
Remember, they were going to clean.
oh yes, now I remember. Pardon me, I just
all
had a
of
blank. Uh-huh.
the monuments.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, that's
And
nice.
that reminds me of another item which is not on the agenda. And since Mr. O'Connor has joined us this morning, have you heard any more from the 4-H club that contacted you about possibly doing a service project?
No, I have not, and I know that their advisor supposedly was going to try to make contact with the veterans associations and try to get a picture of that, and then also go out to the cemetery and get the lay of the land, because the two kids that I talked to with their advisor had not been to the cemetery. So,
Okay, fine. I just kind of wanted to check on it because it would be a wonderful project, but it would be a big one. It would be a big one. So that was the one that, about cleaning the monuments of veterans on Crestlawn Cemetery. Okay, all right. Let's go to the Veterans Day rehearsal and also the fact that we'd like to make sure that our audience is well prepared for next Wednesday, which is Veterans Day, and hope you know you're all invited, and we might suggest that you bring appropriate seats along with you because, as we have in the past, we've had very large crowds, and we're certainly looking forward to that again. John, Michael, how about a report on?
Yes, ma'am. The rehearsal is Monday, November 9th at 9 o'clock, and we're having it at 9 o'clock because that's the same time as the ceremony will be on Wednesday, and so we'll know where the sun is and so forth and things like that. Now, a lot of people listening might go, well, isn't the tradition 11th hour, 11th day, 11th month? And it is, but Sebastian has theirs at 11, and I think some people actually make it to both ceremonies, but ours, again, the dry run or rehearsal is Monday, November 9th, and then the Veterans Day ceremony is Wednesday, November 11th at 9 o'clock. And we've got, I think, a great program. The chair of the committee is Colonel Coons, and he'll be, of course, the master of ceremonies. The parade marshal will be our chair, Colonel Young, Tony Young, and Captain Doy Demzik will be the parade adjutant. Of course, the high school band will be there. I understand school's not out that day, but still the band will be there, which is a great thing, and they always do such a great job. And we have a few distinguished guests. Captain John Pita is the United States Coast Guard, and for those of you that aren't familiar with the naval ranks, captain is equal to colonel in Army and Marine Corps, so just under general rank and quite a distinguished career. And he's going to introduce Master Chief Petty Officer of the Coast Guard, so the highest enlisted rank of the Coast Guard. The Master Chief Petty Officer of the Coast Guard, not just A89, so another special person. And then the keynote address is Lieutenant General James Johnson, a 3-star general, and then we will have some of the other classic sights and sounds and symbols of those days when we place a wreath, and Michael Hyde will play the bagpipes, and we'll sound the ship's bell and do the rifle volley and taps, and then the closing ceremony or the pass and review. So I think it's going to be a good one. We're expecting more than 1,000 people, and like you said, if you want a chair, you should bring one. So let's see. I think that anything that I missed on anyone on.
Lieutenant General Johnson, he led the 82nd Airborne Division during Desert Storm.
Wow.
So he read that whole division during the initial Gulf War. So
Outstanding.
It's going to be, he's a West Point Military Academy graduate.
And for other folks that have never heard Duke Scales play taps, if you haven't heard this young man play him, you got to come out just for that.
Yeah, that's right.
But the ceremony actually starts.
Well, it's at 9 o'clock, but I think if you're there at 9, like if you're coming across the causeway at 9, you've sort of missed it because it's not appropriate to be moving during the national anthem. You should stop and be at attention. So, and really to get 1,500 people or whatever we get on the island takes some time, so they should be heading out there earlier. And also, even though we'll kind of start at 9, a lot of it is the, massing of the colors, the community coming together, the high school band there. So I think that's a big part of being on the island and seeing all the community come together and the veterans and other color guards and then a little bit of socializing and interacting with others as well. So I'd say head for it at 8:30 if you're.
I used to
The
go
earlier
at
the
8
better,
in order to get
since
in there.
we're back on regular time, as you can tell. It's not one of my favorites, but it will be bright and sunshiny.
That's right.
So come on out and
Almost as if it's 10 o'clock. Huh?
get prepared to enjoy a marvelous day. John,
Yes, ma'am.
when you get a chance, would you check the spelling of the name of the director of the Beachland Elementary? Just check with somebody about that spelling.
Okay, I sure will.
It doesn't quite look right. Okay. All right. Well, it's going to be a wonderful ceremony, and we all know from past history that it will be, and I feel certain it'll be well attended. All right, let's go to the chairman's matters, and in keeping with the protocol of this group, program that was started months ago, it's called Veterans Highlights. And this is our opportunity to recognize veterans who are identified with the cenotaphs on our Veterans Memorial Island. So I'm going to start with the first one, which is Staff Sergeant Walter W. Shipley, Jr., U.S. Army, KIA, killed in action August 25th, 1967. Staff Sergeant Walter W. Shipley, Jr. was the son of Walter W. Shipley of Vero Beach. He was born on December the 14th, 1936, in St. Louis, Missouri. His folks moved to Vero Beach in 1960, and he and his family to Vero Beach before he deployed to Vietnam. Walter's wife was Sharon, and they had 5 children. He had served 10 years in the Army with tours in Germany and Korea. Staff Sergeant Shipley was an armor non-commissioned officer. He was assigned to the 2nd Platoon, C Troop, 1st Squadron, 4th Cavalry, 1st Infantry Division. Walter arrived in Vietnam in July of 1966. After completing jungle warfare training, he went into combat. During a mission to clear a sector of enemy, he was killed on August 25, 1967, in the Binh Dong province of Vietnam, South Vietnam. He was 29 years of age. Staff Sergeant Shipley is memorialized on the Veterans Memorial Wall on panel 10E, line 44. His cenotaph can be located in column D, row 12, at Veterans Memorial Island Sanctuary. He was highlighted on September the 1st, 2015. Walter is buried in a family plot in St. Louis, Missouri. Okay, Barb?
Radioman 3rd Class, Ronald Keith Neal, U.S. Navy, killed in action April 21, 1967. Ronald Keith Neal was born January 19, 1946, and lived in Sebastian Highlands. Ronald's mother was Mrs. E.G. Poland, also of Sebastian Highlands. He graduated in 1963 from the Florida Military School in DeLand, Florida. He was an avid swimmer and was trained as a military frogman and reconnaissance specialist. Ronald was assigned duties in Subic Bay in the Philippines. He returned in October 1965 prior to his advanced training as a SEAL. Following the training, he was given orders for Vietnam and was assigned to K Platoon, SEAL Team 1, Task Force 116, United States Naval Forces, Vietnam. He was part of a team conducting river operations in the Dai Dinh province of South Vietnam when assaulted by enemy fire. After only 2 days in country, he was mortally wounded when a mortar round exploded forward of the coxswain position. On the attack of 7 April, 2 SEAL members were killed in action. 12 other Americans were wounded, along with 2 Vietnamese. He was 21 years old. Radioman 3rd Class Neal is honored on the Vietnam Wall panel, 18E, line 62. In addition, he was honored at the United States Naval SEAL Museum in Fort Pierce. His cenotaph is located in column E, row 8, and is buried in Arlington Cemetery, section 52, site 1500. A photo of him is posted on the Special Forces Honor Roll. He was highlighted on October 6, 2015.
Private First Class Roosevelt Scott, United States Marine Corps, killed in action March 12, 1967. Private First Class Roosevelt Scott was born November 28, 1944, in Greenville, Butler County, Alabama, but his home of record was Gifford, Indian River County, Florida. His father is Fred E. Scott, and his mother is Rosie L. Scott of Pensacola. A nephew, Percy Scott, lives in Vero Beach, and Lonnie Scott is another family member living in Gifford. Private First Class Scott was a Marine rifleman. He entered the service on August 9, 1966, and was assigned to G Company, 2nd Battalion, 26th Marine Regiment, 3rd Marine Division. He was killed in action in the vicinity of Quang Tri, South Vietnam, on March 12, 1967, from artillery-friendly fire. He died as a result of fragmentation wounds while in a defensive position about 4 kilometers south of Contienne, or Hill 158. Roosevelt served only 7 months in the Marine Corps. He was interned on March 23, 1967, in the Barrancas National Cemetery in Pensacola Naval Air Station, Florida. His marker is located at Section 32, Site 21. He is honored on the Vietnam Wall Panel 16E, Line 70. His cenotaph is located in the Vero, in the Veterans Memorial Island Sanctuary, Column E, Row 11. He was highlighted on October 3rd, 2015.
Joel?
Private First Class Franklin Clovis, United States Army, killed in action February 8, 1968. Franklin Clovis was born May 19, 1948. His parents were Mr. and Mrs. Ernest Clovis. They lived at 905 36th Avenue in Vero Beach. Franklin was a Vero Beach High School graduate and enlisted in the Army in November of 1966. He attended basic training in Fort Benning, Georgia, and advanced training in Fort Polk, Louisiana. He returned to Vero Beach on Christmas leave and married Diane Chandler on December 13, 1966. He then deployed from Fort Lewis, Washington, to Vietnam. Private First Class Clovis was assigned to 8 Company, 1st Battalion, 6th Infantry, 198th Infantry Brigade, 23rd Infantry, the Americal Division. On February 8, 1968, his unit went to the aid of a Marine unit south of Da Nang. He helped hold the defense while the wounded were evacuated. Fighting bitterly at close quarters, their own effort was successful. They were in hand-to-hand battle in the rice paddies immediately north of Lo Guang. His unit was part of Task Force Miracle. He was killed in action that day. For his bravery, he was awarded the Bronze Star with Valor Device for valor. Though his military records reflect he was 19, he was only 18. He changed the birth date on his birth certificate so he could enlist. His cenotaph is located in Column F, Row 3 at Veterans Memorial Island Sanctuary, and he's buried in Crestlawn Cemetery. He was highlighted on October 20th, 2015.
Curtis?
Sergeant Stephen Max Wiggins, U.S. Army, killed in action March 30th, 1968. Sergeant Stephen Max Wiggins was one of 5 casualties from Indian River County in 1968 of the Vietnam War. He was assigned to the 3rd Squadron, 5th Cavalry Regiment, 9th Infantry Division. Stephen was an active and athletic student at Vero Beach High School, and he ran track with another veteran honored on Memorial Island, Mark Jackson. One ran sprints, the other long distance. Stephen played football all 4 years, and in his senior year, he was recognized as the unsung hero. He was from a small family with one sibling, Jamil. She was younger and was a Vero Beach High School sophomore when she was told of her brother's loss. Stephen was killed in action on March 30th, 1968, near the Khe Sanh in the Quang Tri province. On that day, Charlie Troop fought a pitched battle against a dug-in battalion. The fight lasted from midday to early evening. The unit withdrew to reorganize and prepare for battle at dawn. Upon return, the enemy had abandoned their position. The bloody fight cost them severely, with 182 lost. U.S. casualties included 9 killed, 2 missing, and 3 armored personnel carriers destroyed. Sergeant Wiggins, at 20 years of age, was among them. The 3-5 Cav was awarded the Presidential Unit Citation for Valor. Stephen is honored on the Vietnam Memorial Wall, Panel 47E, Line 18. He is buried in Crestlawn Cemetery, and his cenotaph is located Column G, Row 1, on Veterans Memorial Island Sanctuary. He was highlighted October 27th, 2015.
Thank you.
If I may, something about Stephen Wiggins that's kind of interesting is I got a call once at my store, and the gentleman said, "I understand you're involved with veterans, and would you by any chance know of Stephen Wiggins or his family?" And I mentioned that he was honored there on Memorial Island, and the gentleman that called was in his unit, and in fact, Stephen Wiggins died in his arms, and it was a sad but sweet story that he told, and also he was, it was nice or appropriate that I was able to tell him what high regard we hold our veterans in, and they're on Memorial Island, and that Stephen Wiggins is honored there, and so it was kind of a nice reunion of thought or memories for him anyway.
He's a good friend of mine, too.
There are a number of people in this county that have fond memories of Steve Wiggins?
I'm one. Both Mickey Walters, who we honored, acknowledged earlier, and Steve and Loudermilk, several of them were good friends of mine in our
Well, this is a great
Day.
Great program, and
It is.
a special way to honor our deceased veterans. So, Patty, I'm sorry. I meant to call on you just because Bob's on vacation. So are you all set? Are you all okay with Veterans Day and what's going on?
We are. Patty Howard, Assistant Recreation Director. Yeah, we're all set. Bob's going to meet you guys out there, Bob Greco, November 9th for the run-through. He'll have the sound system, stage, water, anything you guys need. And if there's anything else, you just give us a call and we'll help you out.
As you always do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, dear.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Now, does anyone have anything they want to bring up?
I think the gentleman from
I was just going to
Oh.
ask if you thought, yeah. By any chance, would either of you gentlemen be representing the Indian River Charitable Association? Well, please come forward. If you will come to the microphone and identify yourself.
My name is Joe Correccia,
Joe-
and I'm
Joe.
Vice President of the Indian River Charitable Association. We've been in business almost 5 years, and we feed needy veterans, and we work with the veterans groups, and we sold signs for our golf tournament this year, which was Hackers for Vets, and that's how we raised the money to buy the food that we supply to the vets. And we sell T signs. In fact, Mr. Matthews bought a T sign from us. Thank you very much. And we line the entrance to Memorial Island every year with these signs on both sides. They're nice-looking signs, and it gives the people who helped us with our golf tournament another chance to show that they're patriotic enough to buy a sign for the veterans. And sorry that we're late, but we went to the wrong building. Because somebody usually handles this, and this year I got the job. So we're here to ask permission to be able to line both sides of the roads. We have about 40 signs this year. And by the way, we had a great golf tournament. We were covered by Channel 5. They came, they spent hours there, and they gave us about 2.5 seconds on television. The newspaper was there for another couple of hours, and they said they might run it on Veterans Day, the golf tournament. We had a lot of fun, and we had a chance for veterans to play on the Indian River Club, which normally they wouldn't be able to play on that course. So anyway, that's what we do, and we need permission to put the signs out.
All right. Well, I think we all remember that you did this last year.
Yes.
And the year before.
Yes.
So
For the last 4
And
years.
I don't think we can give permission, but we can acknowledge that it's there when we get there early in the morning.
Yes. Thank you very much.
I don't think, what did we do last year? I didn't remember that there was quite as much advertising that went into the signs, but if they're just like they were last year.
Exactly. Same signs.
And they were just on the side of the road. I remember where they were at, where they were placed and everything. They wouldn't interfere with anything. Was with the ceremony, so it was
they were on
a very
the
class
entrances.
act. And you guys took care of it. And you took care of them down. You took them down like you said you were going to. So
Right.
very good. We appreciate it.
Well, I'm sure we all appreciate it. If you
Definitely.
would just put them up early and take them down,
Thank you.
that'll be wonderful.
I went 55 after I was discharged from the Navy to decide to help some of my fellow vets. And I can kick myself.
Rewarding, isn't it?
I kicked myself. I should have started years ago because I knew what was happening because I wouldn't go to the VA hospital myself. I went in for a back operation, and at 10 o'clock at night I put my pants on, and I went home and I said to my wife, that's it. I'll go to a regular hospital. So we're working towards, whatever help we can do there.
excuse me, would you spell your last name for the
It's Careccia. Careccia. And this is Gary Halstead.
all right? It's nice to have you gentlemen, and we appreciate the fact that you are really interested in helping the vets.
It was a nice tournament, too.
Thank you.
Very nice.
Yeah, it was successful this year.
Good.
And why we don't get any more coverage is beyond me, but they're too busy.
We'll try.
Yeah, too busy with
Maybe we can help you a little
the
bit.
French poodle.
Emily might have a
They give
little
them
bit of
2
color this
pages. Give a French poodle 2 pages in the newspaper, and they give the veterans about a line this big.
Right.
And this is the most important thing we're trying to change.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, anybody else have any other announcements?
Yes, the picnic was a great success. It
I
was
assume it was.
incredible. All the kids, all the veterans, the community came together really, really nicely, and it was a great success.
Good, fine. Thank you. I assume that the next item is the fact that our next meeting will be held on December the 2nd. So, I wish you all we'll have a wonderful Veterans Day and a happy Thanksgiving. So,
To you also.
see you soon.
Thank you.
Okay, meeting adjourned. Thank you.